In a world increasingly defined by deception and the total rejection of human dignity, we decided to found the Tucker Carlson Network, and we did it with one principle in mind: tell the truth.
Tucker Carlson is a name that sparks conversation, whether for his sharp wit or question his bold takes. As one of America's most recognizable journalists, his career has been marked by influence, controversy, and undeniable success. From luxurious properties to his unique approach to balancing fame and family, Carlson's lifestyle offers a glimpse into the perks and pressures of being a media powerhouse. How did he amass his wealth? And how does he manage his immense wealth? Join us as we look at the lifestyle of Tucker Carlson, how America's top journalist lives in luxury. The life of a bold journalist. The success of Tucker Carlson as a reporter and TV host has carried with it a pretty good fortune worth $30 million. While most of his wealth comes from hosting his hit Fox News show, Tucker Carlson Tonight, he's also made a name for himself as an author. His books, which dive into politics and culture, have added another layer to his career and a bit more to his bank account. Beyond his professional achievements, Tucker has some surprising hobbies and interests that reflect a mix of modesty and indulgence. His passion for cars stands out for someone who often portrays himself as a down-to-earth guy. Tucker may not splurge heavily on extravagant homes, but he's all in when it comes to his rides. According to Infonet Worth, Tucker has accumulated an exciting car collection over the years. That is complemented by sleek and stylish examples such as the BMW 440i, the Genesis G70, and the Audi S5. However, the real showstopper in his lineup is a Porsche Panamera, his most expensive car yet. This mix of practicality and luxury mirrors his public persona, which is pragmatic but with a flair for the finer things. But Tucker's interests don't stop at politics and luxury vehicles. He's also a die-hard fan of the legendary progressive rock band, the Grateful Dead. Growing up in San Francisco, a city synonymous with the band's legacy, it's no surprise that Tucker has such a deep connection to their music. But to be sure, it is a bit shocking how much of a superfan he is. Tucker has not been shy about his affection for the Grateful Dead, appearing in interviews and personal anecdotes. He encountered the legendary band member Jerry Garcia himself, fronted interviews given by some of the other band members, and even incorporated the band's legacy into personal story highlights. Variety reports that Tucker has seen more than 70 Grateful Dead shows. For the record, that is a considerable financial and temporal commitment for any music lover. Tickets and trips add up. But there's no doubt that for Tucker, the experience is worth its weight in gold. Seeing how much he is worth, what other things has Tucker invested his wealth into? The lifestyle of Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson has a proclivity for purchasing spectacularly beautiful houses in tranquil places. From the beaches of South Florida, the deep woods of northern Maine, to his past homes on a busy Washington, D.C. city block, Carlson's real estate holdings speak a tale of comfort, chicness, and status. Let's take a closer look at the places he's called home. In the intimate hamlet of Boca Grande, Florida, on the scenic Gasparilla Island, Carlson has not one but two noteworthy residences. His initial purchase in the neighborhood was in January 2020, when he acquired a 4-bedroom, 4 to 5 bath, multi-level home for $2,900,000. This 2,870 square feet house, dated back to the 1960s, is hidden behind a curtain of foliage, which is dominated by palm trees and willows. The house is inviting, with terrazzo floors, a cypress wood finish, and a fireplace. The kitchen has been renovated to enhance the sophisticated feeling of the house. Out there is a breathtaking courtyard pool, and just across the way is an independent one-bedroom, one-bathroom guest cottage, which only enhances the charm. But Carlson didn't stop there. He then secretly purchased the house across the street in August 2022 for $5.5 million. Like its neighbor, this dwelling was also constructed in the 1960s and is a bit smaller, comprising 3 bedrooms and 3 to 5 bathrooms in 2,800 square feet. It's no secret that Carlson is fond of the relaxed comforts of this small Florida community. When Carlson isn't out enjoying the hot sunshine in Boca Grande, however, he goes north to the more temperate climate of Woodstock, Maine. Quiet, wooded, and rural, this small town on the edge of Oxford County, near Bryant Pond, has been a cherished summer destination for Carlson for years. In September 2020, he purchased a home here to enjoy the peace and tranquility of Maine's forests. Most interestingly, Carlson also purchased another building in the vicinity, reportedly for $30,000, to turn it into a broadcast studio, making his shows without having to depart from his beloved state of Maine. While it's unclear what the future holds for this project, the property is still well maintained by a local groundskeeper whenever Carlson decides to stop by. Before acquiring his current properties, Carlson lived in the heart of Washington, D.C., where he owned just 2 homes. His first residence, a spacious 7-bedroom, 4.5-bathroom house, built in 1941, was sold in September 2017. Purchased for $2 million in 2011, the home was sold for just over $2,040,000, yielding a modest profit. On his second D.C. property, a location which is only a mile to his first D.C. home, was a great 5-bed, 7-bath, 7,400 square foot mansion. Carlson purchased this house for $3,895,000. But when he resold it in July 2020, he only realized a small profit, selling it for $3,950,000. Interestingly, both homes shared a similar look, with red front doors, classic columns, and symmetrical window designs, giving off a timeless charm. How did Tucker amass his wealth? The controversial voice who shaped modern conservative media. Tucker Swanson. McNear Carlson, born on May 16, 1969, has become one of the most recognizable figures in American media. Known for his strong conservative views and unapologetic commentary, Carlson made headlines as the host of Tucker Carlson Tonight on Fox News, a role he held from 2016 until 2023. After his sudden exit from Fox News, Carlson didn't fade from the spotlight. He, however, turned his back on the traditional path and switched to independent platforms. He has continued to reach his firebrand over the dedicated audience through shows such as Tucker on X and The Tucker Carlson Show. Carlson has always been a vocal supporter of Donald Trump throughout his professional life and frequently defended his policies and beliefs. Many have called him the loudest voice for Trumpism and the most influential figure in right-wing media. His views have resonated deeply with some while sparking significant criticism from others. Carlson's highly controversial views have been central to the white grievance politics of what many call a highly controversial style of political discourse. Carlson's journey in media began in the 90s, long before he became a household name. He began with writing for conservative magazines, like The Weekly Standard, and gradually earned the reputation of a clever political commentator. In the early 2000s, Carlson made his television debut as a co-host on CNN's debate show Crossfire, where his fiery exchanges became a hallmark of the program. He subsequently went to MSNBC to host a nightly program entitled Tucker. From 2005 to 2008, and settled at Fox News in 2009. At Fox, Carlson first appeared as a political commentator on numerous programs. By 2016, he had launched his own program, Tucker Carlson Tonight, which quickly became one of the most watched cable news shows in the U.S. Having a reputation for defying liberal and conservative conventions, Carlson has been able to use his program to spread far-right ideas and raise them to center stage across the board. But Carlson's career hasn't been without controversy. Over the years, he's faced backlash for promoting conspiracy theories on topics like immigration, COVID-19, the January 6th Capitol attack, and even Ukrainian bioweapons. Accusations of fabricating or misleading information in an attempt to mislead political discourse have been leveled against him, inciting heated debates about the consequences of his actions on political discourse. He has been described as racist and sexist for comments he made about race, immigration, and women, with advertiser boycotts and intense scrutiny of his show following. In April 2020, 3 Fox News terminated Carlson and pulled the plug on his program, setting in motion much speculation about the reasons behind the termination. Reports suggest that Lachlan Murdoch, the CEO of Fox Corporation, made the final call. Carlson left in the wake of a high-profile defamation suit brought against Dominion voting systems. Fox News was forced to pay out a $787,500,000 settlement when it was discovered that network hosts, including Carlson, presented and broadcast false allegations about behavior of Dominion voting machines. Despite these setbacks, Carlson's influence remains undeniable. Beyond television, he has authored 3 books: Politicians, Partisans, and Parasites in 2003, Ship of Fools in 2018, and The Long Slide in 2021, each offering his unique perspective on politics and culture. In 2010, he co-founded The Daily Caller, a right-wing news website, where he served as editor-in-chief until selling his stake in 2020. Carlson's political evolution has also drawn attention. Historically a strict economic libertarian, he has come to defend business protection against free trade and indiscriminate policies aimed at American workers. Although he initially supported the Iraq War, Carlson publicly renounced his stance in 2004 and has since been critical of U.S. foreign interventions. His relationship with Donald Trump has been complex. While he strongly supported many of Trump's policies, Carlson wasn't afraid to critique the former president when he believed Trump deviated from his core principles. Carlson reportedly influenced some key decisions during Trump's presidency, including the cancellation of a military strike on Iran and the dismissal of National Security Advisor John Bolton. Carlson's global influence extends beyond U.S. borders. He has often defended Russian President Vladimir Putin and, in February 2024, became the first Western journalist to interview Putin since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. This move solidified his position as a provocative and unpredictable voice in modern journalism. What was the famous journalist's younger life like? The early years of a controversial media icon. Tucker McNear Carlson was born in the Children's Hospital, San Francisco, California. Raised in a blended and somewhat unusual family, his route to becoming one of the most discussed media personalities in the United States started on sunny streets in California, though it didn't always go smoothly. Tucker was the oldest child of Lisa McNear, a San Francisco artist, and Dick Carlson, a man who wore many hats in a lifetime. Dick's career began as an intrepid gonzo reporter and progressed later in life up the ranks director of Voice of America, president of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and U.S. ambassador to the Seychelles. More recently, he has been a director at the lobbying firm Policy Impact Strategic Communications. Tucker's younger brother, Buckley Carlson, who was born almost 2 years after him, followed a path into communications and Republican political operations. Tucker's paternal story is equally intriguing. His father, Dick, was a product of teenage birth to Richard Boynton and Dorothy Anderson, and in the care home of the Home for Little Wanderers. Dick was adopted at 2 years old by Carl and Florence Moberger, a wealthy New England pair. Carl worked as an executive in the historic Winslow Brothers Smith Tannery in Norwood, Massachusetts, which is the oldest tannery in America. As a result of this adoption, Dick Carlson lived in relative luxury, although his background always brought a complicatedness to the family saga. On his mother's side, Tucker's pedigree is also a story of affluence and tradition. His great-great-great-grandfather, Henry Miller, was the cattle king, a very influential man in the early days of the American ranching business. Meanwhile, his maternal great-great-grandfather, Caesar Lombardi, immigrated from Switzerland to New York in 1860, introducing a touch of Italian-Swiss heritage to Tucker's diverse background. Tucker's full name reflects this rich history, honoring relatives like his great-great-great-grandfather, J.C. Tucker, and his great-great-grandfather, George W. McNear. Tucker's early family life was marked by upheaval. His parents, Lisa and Dick, separated in 1976 following 9 years of marriage. 6 years old, Tucker's mother abandoned the family and went to live in France, leaving the sons behind altogether. From that point on, Dick Carlson took full custody of Tucker and Buckley, raising them in La Jolla, a beautiful coastal neighborhood in San Diego, California. In La Jolla, Tucker's upbringing was relatively privileged. He went to La Jolla Country Day School and stayed in a house with a view of La Jolla Beach and tennis club. His father owned properties in various locations, including Nevada, Vermont, and even islands in Maine and Nova Scotia. However, Dick Carlson also faced challenges, such as an unsuccessful run for mayor of San Diego in 1984. In 1979, Dick married Patricia Carolyn Swanson, a Swanson Enterprise heiress. In spite of Patricia's background in the affluent Swanson family, the company had been sold to the Campbell Soup Company prior to their union. However, this combination also brought a level of wealth and opportunity to the Carlson clan. Patricia took Tucker and Buckley into her extended family by joint care and officially adopted them. Tucker's educational journey was diverse and unconventional. For a short time, he went to Collège du Le Mans, a boarding school which was in French-speaking Switzerland, but was allegedly expelled. Next, he went on to complete secondary school at St. George's School in Rhode Island, where he started dating the headmaster's daughter, Susan Andrews, who would one day become his wife. After graduation from St. George's, Tucker went on to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, and graduated with a BA in history in 1991. During his stay at Trinity, he made an interesting and controversial entry in his yearbook, claiming his membership in the Dan White Society, a reference to the assassin of San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk. Following college, Tucker initially aimed for a career in intelligence, applying to the CIA. However, his application was rejected. It was his father who encouraged him to consider journalism, famously quipping, "They'll take anybody." This advice launched Tucker into the world of media, setting the stage for his rise as one of the most polarizing figures in American journalism. How did he become the popular figure he is today? Tucker Carlson's road to fame. After graduating from Trinity College in 1991 with a degree in history, Tucker Carlson stepped into the world of print journalism. He started contributing to several publications, some of which were close to the right wing, and others of a more mainstream nature. They developed the talent for writing and commentating in those early years, which would become a more established career in the media. Carlson's journey into broadcast television marked a turning point in his professional life, propelling him into the public eye. In 2000, he debuted on CNN as the co-host of The Spin Room. This program enabled him to participate in dynamic talks and debates, demonstrating brilliant intellect with resolute viewpoints. 1 year later, in 2001, Carlson joined the panel discussion series Crossfire on CNN, a television program on which he frequently disagreed with opening commentators. Among his most striking experiences on Crossfire was his argument with comedian Jon Stewart, who, in looking at Crossfire, argued that it was starting to cheapen political debate. The interview gained significant attention and is still discussed today. Yet, Crossfire was abandoned in 2005, and Carlson left CNN. Unfiltered, the show was part of a public broadcasting network initiative to bring more ideological diversity to its programming. Although it only lasted about a year, it allowed Carlson to explore issues more unrestrainedly. Carlson's career took an astonishing turn when he went to work for MSNBC. He presented a program, Tucker, running until 2008. The program struggled with low ratings and was ultimately canceled. During this time, MSNBC shifted its programming to the political left, making Carlson's presence on the network somewhat out of place. Despite these obstacles, Carlson's status in the media industry rose. In 2010, Carlson co-founded a conservative online news website, later becoming one of the leading online news outlets. This venture allowed him to reach a new audience and establish himself as a prominent voice in conservative circles. He finally sold his share of the company in 2020. Carlson's significant achievement in the world of cable news happened in 2016, when he got the anchor role for Tucker Carlson Tonight on Fox News. Upon its premiere, prime time surged to become the most watched cable news program, and thus ensured the role of one of the most potent media figures in America. Through the years, the schedule fluctuated, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the evening, but the hit show ratings stayed the same. What other source of income does Tucker have? From memoirs to bestsellers. Carlson wrote his memoir, Politicians, Partisans, and Parasites: My Adventures in Cable News Through Warner Books. The book, which provided readers with a personal account of his experiences in television news, was a success. Both Publishers Weekly and The Washingtonian applauded its wit and storytelling. How a Selfish Ruling Class is Bringing America to the Edge of Revolution, published in October 2018, was a runaway bestseller, topping the New York Times bestseller list. 30 Years in American Journalism, released in August 2021. This book took stock of his 30-year career in the media business, reflecting ways and thoughts from the perspective of a journalist and commentator. Chadwick Moore authored a biography of Tucker, which was launched in 2023. Carlson worked in tandem with the author, sharing more than 100 hours of interview time to form the basis of the book. The work sought to offer Carlson's version of the narrative, particularly to discuss his departure from Fox News. However, the book did not immediately receive much attention. It sold barely more than 3,000 copies in its first week. What do you think of Tucker Carlson's lifestyle? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.